Everyone, Jason All Ears chat. Just wanted to jump on, it's a little bit unscripted, but I want to talk about 3 common elements of reselling on eBay and what that actually means and the reality of what that means. So for me today, I had the opportunity of sitting with 2 different parties. I had a catch up with an old account manager from a freight supplier I use, which I love catching up with, all about the relationship with the supply chain, which is actually an important video as well on its own, which I should probably cover off too. Or if you want to see that, hit below and let me know, because I'm happy to talk about that and how important the supply chain side of things is, both with your suppliers of goods and also with your suppliers of services that you use to fulfill those orders. But more importantly, the second party that I caught up with, which I won't share who it is verbally, but there might be a picture here. I've been watching on YouTube for years, and his delivery and approach and his personal approach to his genuine interest in assisting others, it's enlightening. It's really, really beneficial to listen to. So I'll pop the link to his YouTube below. I think most people can learn from him in some way, shape or form. And learning's not about learning facts. Learning's about listening to new opportunities as well. Listening to new ways of doing things, and this person covers that off right front and center. All right, okay. Chris Furlong, you got to watch him. I respect him in his approach, and Karla came out and we had a coffee. And Chris, I hope you don't mind me sharing that, but I think what you do in the community is really important, and the social component of what you do in helping others, it's phenomenal. So everyone, you should head across and see him, because he's actually got some deep-seated information which will help you push through your own challenges and push through what you're trying to learn reselling as well. But back to what I wanted to talk about, I really wanted to cover off the reality of reselling on eBay, what it means. So really, I've broken it down to 3 parts, 3 pivotal parts that we have to adapt to and understand to move forward with selling on eBay. Personally, this is something in a journey I've done for 20 years. I've been online since 2004 in eBay. So what, 19 years? And there's been a couple of other proliferations before that prior to setting up a key username that I operate under now. But really, the 3 parts that I find interesting with selling on eBay that I've had to adapt to is there's always going to be changes. There will always be changes in the marketplace. There will be changes with eBay. There will be changes with buyers. There will be changes with everything that you do on a daily basis in the e-commerce world. eBay's e-commerce, it's a marketplace. There's many marketplaces in Australia now. eBay's one of the forthright ones, and it's one of the ones that I personally operate well in because I have less competition in my space, and my products sell better on a platform in the collectible space as well. But more importantly, these changes are always happening. Whether it's eBay tweaking things to make it better, to improve on services, whether it's being forced changes and so forth. So you've just got to be learning to understand that. The second one is there's always going to be competition. Doesn't matter what platform you're operating on, where you're operating, what you're selling, what you're not selling, what you're trying to do, what you're looking at doing, there will always be competition. If there's not competition today when you start, there will be competition tomorrow. So you can't be emotionally invested in a way that's going to upset you when competition comes along. You need to grab it, understand it, and learn how to push through that and actually overcome that competition or defeat that competition with service, price or other. Price is a sensitive one, but we'll cover that in a second as well. And the third one is there's always going to be customers. If you're going to sell online, you're going to have customers. There's always going to be buyers. There's always going to be questions from those customers. Don't get upset when somebody's presenting you a question as a potential buyer. There's nothing that I find more disheartening when a seller tells me they don't like getting questions. They're upset with offers. They're disappointed by the price of the offer. They're disappointed by the way somebody speaks to them. We're not all the same. We're all different. We're all educated differently. We all learn differently. We all approach things differently, and we all speak differently. Whether it's English, another language, a different language, it doesn't matter. If you're speaking Klingon, you need to understand Klingon so that you can actually try and help to get that person across the line to buy your product. Change your mindset a fraction if you can, if you feel that way. Understand that they're the people putting food on your table maybe. They're the people giving you an extra $10 to be able to buy something for your children. They're the people paying your rent. They're the people paying whatever your objective is in your business. These people with the questions are providing you a opportunity to present them an offer as to why to spend money with you. When they ask you a question, it's like an objection on the floor in retail. The objection comes up, you need to overcome that objection or satisfy that question to be able to get that sale across the board. Now, it's a bit controversial, I'm not sure why, but try and help these people that are asking things and be ready for customers that will actually ask you things. I know a lot of us don't want to speak to people. We work online in a space because it suits our personality. I'm one of those. But it's one of those things that we need to embrace those customers and work with those customers to encourage them to spend their money with you, with us, with everybody we know and within our network. So really those three things will be, there's always going to be changes, whether it's platform or other. There's always going to be competition, and there's always going to be customers with questions or issues or problems that you need to adapt to. So 1, always changes. 2, always competition. 3, there's always going to be buyers. We always want buyers. Now, to overcome that mindset is sometimes a bit more difficult than what it is. So when it comes to changes, we need to understand that a lot of changes being implemented at an eBay level, for example, are being done for the betterment of the community. It may disappoint 1 or 2 of us or a handful of us or a small percentage of us, but it's done for the wider community. There's 40,000 Australian sellers alone on the eBay platform, let alone worldwide. I can go into statistics, but that's not the part of this message. As I said, this is off the cuff, so it's more just that mentality of let's approach the business as if it's a business that we're trying to make money from and that we're trying to service people to make sure all parties are happy, eBay, buyer and seller. So with understanding that eBay makes changes for the betterment of the community, it's really important. Let's take, for example, when the Seller Hub changed. The Seller Hub changed to a new format, what was it? Maybe 12, 18 months ago. Everybody wanted to go back to the old system. Everybody wanted to change back to the old process. I was one of them. But the moment I got used to the new Seller Hub, the changes, the modules I could move around, the way that I could pull into data, see information, I love the new dashboard. Everything's ready at the skip of a heartbeat, sitting in front of me on the platform, sitting in front of me on my Seller Hub, telling me all the details from what I need to dispatch, what I need to send, what queries I've got going, how many questions are open. Any piece of data I want to pull into that dashboard will actually be beneficial. And I couldn't see going back to the old one now. And also in the community, there's not a lot of feedback coming back complaining anymore. We've all got used to it. The tool has been developed and molded, and we've become, we're creatures of habit. When we're creatures of a habit, we struggle with change. The moment we accept the change, the moment we start working and looking for the positives from it, it becomes better. And I think that's where the Seller Hub's now. But it's also even things like Google with the white background. I've talked about that several times in different videos. Google instructed the change to be done for better indexing. And if you didn't have a white background, the indexing wouldn't occur to have your images and your searches and your products show up in their shopping platform. So whenever eBay actually promoted a product, your product wouldn't appear if you didn't have a white background. So eBay instigated the change. Everyone got upset with the change because they had to go and modify their images. But it wasn't them being pushed for this information. It was Google pushing eBay for it and eBay pushing the seller for it so that the sellers could get their products indexed correctly to increase sales and potential sales. eBay copped the flack for that. So it's another change that's occurred that was needed in the platform because the platform asked us, but it wasn't them instigating that change. It was something they were actually responding to ensure that we maintained our activity on the platforms. So this change process, if we can adapt it, understand it, push through it, it'll just help us grow our business by adapting the tools that are being rolled out for the benefit of us sellers. It's like the new listing tool. I personally don't use it. I list through other programs. There's glitches within it, but these glitches will become ironed out over time in a short period of time. It's just that small pain point that we'll incur temporarily and adapt to, and then it'll work for us moving forward. So changes are just something that are going to be there. There's always going to be a change. We need to learn to adapt to those changes and grow with them, embrace them, and work through them. Reach out to the community in the eBay sellers group, for example. That's another area where you can talk about your problems, which helps us push them through the eBay seller panel as well, straight to eBay. Being a member of that panel, I know the information that you raise, we push through to that eBay seller group and the forum that we have on a weekly basis with eBay and chat about these issues that pop up. So the more you feed back through other places and other resources and other forums, whether it's the All Ears events, the Town Hall event coming up on the 26th of October, the eBay sellers forums, the resellers forums, wherever you are, most of that information is picked up by the sellers panel and pushed back to eBay and discussed. So rest assured, any changes and problems that are coming up, they'll be seen. But with regards to the next part, which is there's always going to be competition, there's always competition with everything, whether it's based on price, whether it's based on product, quality, availability, speed of delivery. There will always be somebody that will beat you in some way, shape or form. And don't get yourself into the habit of racing to the bottom. Don't make your product about price. Try not to make your product about price. I'm not saying be silly and be overpriced. I'm not saying anything like that. But be conscious that somebody's always going to go and undercut you. There's programs like things called Street Pricer, which will actually go and match your price automatically and drop a seller's price to be within 10 cents, 15 cents under the price you have listed. They're automatic programs. You're always going to have somebody that's going to try and outdo you. There's always going to be somebody with a better buying power. There's always going to be somebody wanting to undercut you for the value of 10 cents, for the value of 20 cents. If you compete on price and race to the bottom, you're going to encourage buyers to fight for that price as well, and it brings out a certain buyer type in your industry sometimes. So just be conscious of that. But there's always going to be people with the same product, same price, better items. You can't always counteract the competition. You need to try and counteract it though with your customer service, your speed at reply, your speed at responding to offers, your speed at responding to problems, your feedback situation, your handling time, your shipment times. One of the biggest advantages you will have is people buying locally to you that you ship quickly. You'll pop up quicker in the search results if you're servicing an area closer to you. Say you're in Melbourne, for example, and you're being compared against somebody in Sydney. Somebody buying from Melbourne will see yours ahead if you meet other points and responsibilities with regards to shipping, handling, costs and freight, etc., etc. If it's similar on par, you will actually achieve more in the results for a local seller than what the Sydney seller will appear. So that's important to know as well, but you can't always compete. Don't ever be concerned, but there's always going to be competition. Now, the next part of it I find interesting is it creates a lot of interesting responses in the marketplace, is the speed of replying to messages, the speed of replying to best offers, the customer queries, the getting upset by customer queries and how you tackle that and how you overcome that. Most queries are quite positive, which is quite good. If you get a query at 10 o'clock at night, if you're on your phone, personally, I'd respond to that. Because if you respond in a short period of time and they're keen to buy something, they may get your message and respond to your message and see that you've answered their question and buy your item before they get to find another one on eBay. You will get to them before they get to search for your product through another supplier. And they may buy from you. Same as best offers. If you get a best offer at 12 o'clock at night and you just happen to be on your phone, accept it, decline it or counter offer it and try and get the response from the person. If you counter offer it on the spot, they may accept it on the spot. If you wait 12 to 24 hours, they may cool off. They may not be interested anymore. They may have moved on and found it somewhere else. So your speed at replying, the language you use to reply to those offers and the tone that you use to reply to those offers or messages will set the relationship for a potential long-term purchaser or an immediate sale. So if you have issues with responding to customers' queries and you get upset by customers' queries, think about it that they're paying the wage. They're paying your rent. I covered it before. They're paying for you to be online selling your product and to provide you the opportunity to keep doing that same level of service on your business, for your business, on the eBay platform or others, to reinvest into more stock, to buy your rent, to pay for your kids' food, to buy the school books, whatever you're doing, it's giving you that opportunity. Treat them as a welcome gift to supply you a money stream. These little things are very important for you to adapt and consider moving forward in the relationship of selling online. So this competition that you're dealing with is important, but understanding the questions and the replies and the getting upset, it's like if you get an actual issue or if you get a problem email or a problem query from eBay and you don't know how to respond to it and you start typing, you respond in an irrational state or an emotional state or off the cuff like I'm doing this video, which is going to ramble a little bit. you're better off actually typing a response in a Word document, not sending an email, and just going away for an hour after you've typed it. Vent as much as you want on that Word document. It's an old corporate strategy. Vent as much as you like on that document. Park it so you can't accidentally send it to a customer. After an hour of reviewing it, go back and read it again. Or have somebody else read it. Edit it, modify it, and then in the end cut it from 7 paragraphs of anger and disdain or disappointment or whatever you want to term it, and cut it down to a paragraph going, understand, appreciate, how can I help you get through this? Just a very simple reply. Take the emotion out of it. Take away the argumentative component of it. No matter what's coming through, try not to be argumentative with them. That's just a personal piece of advice. You tackle your business how you like though, but if you just keep it very simple and factual, that will help you move forward through any dispute or any issue you have on that side of it. So just welcome the queries. The queries are a potential opportunity to make money. If you don't want to make money, then be disappointed by the query. I love queries if I get them. I prefer to get a sale without a query. Don't get me wrong. Trust me, I love getting sales without a query. But if I get a query where it's a reasonable request and a reasonable offer or a reasonable situation, I'm happy to reply. And let's talk about best offers. How many people get offers that are so ridiculously low that you just laugh? You just want to respond with a laughing emoji. Don't do it. It's amazing how many sales I've had come from the lowest of lowest offers, and they were basically throwing the line in the water, trying to test the waters to see where I was at. I'm actually quite amazed at how many people have started at 1/10 of the price and then have come up to 9/10 of the price, purely just by responding going, I'm not in a position to accept that amount. It's far below cost. Please feel free to come at me with your best offer at your walkaway price, and we can then discuss it from there. If you're happy to put in that offer, if I decline, you're not going to be disappointed, and I won't be disappointed either. It's how you tackle it and the tone that you set that will create that opportunity for you as well. You only have to learn one thing from an activity or from an engagement or from an interaction that could benefit you, and you're ahead of the game. So all the best. Happy selling. Keep selling. Respond to your customers. Be positive. Keep your business there. Look for the change. Embrace the change. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you on the 26th of October in the eBay Town Hall. I'll put a link to one of the videos to it, and you can jump on and have a browse. The eBay Town Hall is just an extension of the All Ears event, and I think a lot of people are going to learn from that. But there'll be more videos to come. So thanks again. Take care. Speak soon.